And even during this pandemic, we are seeing, people utilizing the water, utilizing their boats. And now is a really important time to remind people that with the enjoyment of our beautiful waters here in Long Island, we also need to be cautious. We need to be safe and remind and follow the safeguards, not only the COVID-19 safeguards that are in place, but also actually the boating safeguards that, that some people, take very, very seriously, and others, really aren't focusing on it. And last week is a tragic reminder that we have to. Just some stats so everybody knows. Last year alone, the U.S. Coast Guard reported 4,168 recreational boating accidents, and 613 were actual deaths. In fact, just yesterday, it was reported that despite this pandemic, there has been a 19% increase in fatal boating accidents this time this year compared to the same number last year. That is a stark reminder of the dangers that the beauty of the sea also bring. No person is immune from these dangers posed by the water, and we all need to take it very, very seriously. And there are just some basic rules that are common sense, but still need to be adhered to. Always have a life jacket on the boat. You have to, for everybody, not only yourself, but anybody that's on the boat. A fire extinguisher is a mandatory requirement you have to have. You should also be wary to have a sound device. Why? Fog can roll in, storms occur, and God forbid you're out in that water and it gets dark. You want to at least be able to have some sort of mechanism that is going to let people know and let our constables know and those patrolling the waters where you're located in case of an emergency. And then you have your other protocols that are in place. The COVID-19 protocols. As you can see, right now, we have people who are regularly bringing down their boats. We put safeguards into effect of spacing when using the ramp system. And we're reminding residents, don't go over capacity on your boat. Maintain your boat, clean your boat. Take all those safeguards that you have been. When you're on the boat, if you can, have a mask, have a shield. It's simple steps like this that, are going to, basically make sure that you're safe during this pandemic. So that's why, people on the water have to be, it's a dual safety program for you folks. It's not just the pandemic rules, but you have your boating safety rules.
Sales of boats have boomed since this pandemic, and they accredit to a few things. They say one is the low interest rates. A second is the people's inability to travel. The third is, in the beginning of the pandemic, we weren't sure where camps and things for children were going to be this summer. So a lot of people invested in a boat or a personal watercraft to enjoy this summer, which means that there are a lot of new boaters out on the water. And it is important because you need to know our waterways, you need to follow directions, and you need to be safe. And like the supervisor mentioned, we offer boater safety courses that meet the New York State criteria, not only here in the town of Hempstead, but anybody at home. You could do a Google search, and I know places like Boat US and other companies have similar classes that meet the accreditation. And it's important because you need to know your waterways, you need to know how to operate a boat, and you need to be safe. And it's not only about keeping you and your family and those who board your boat safe, it's about keeping everyone here in the town of Hempstead safe on these waterways.
One of the things I would like to point out is, these towing sports, tubing, water skiing, wakeboarding, very, very popular. And that was what the tragedy occurred last week. One of the things to keep in mind is there are some specific rules that go along with that. The person in the tube or the wakeboard must be wearing a personal flotation device while underway. There must be an observer, 10 years of age or older, watching and keeping an eye on that person being towed. And lastly, we have a specific ordinance in our town here that you're not allowed to conduct these activities in the marked channels, which means between the buoys. So you have to take these activities to places outside the channels where there's less traffic and less chance of having interaction with other boaters that could be dangerous.
It is so much on the water. When I grew up, it was simply, I'd come down here and fish for snappers, and you'd see a couple of boats. Look at it now. You have, the big boats, the small boats. You have the jet skis. You have people on their boards, on the surfboards or, water boards going across. There's so much going on now, activity. And as people have been bottled up, they're out in force. They are trying to, find any enjoyment they can, and we want you to do it safely. We want you to do it in a proper manner, and follow the guidelines.